I decided to elope with my fiancé after my parents refused to attend our wedding, but my sister's shocking text made me rush back home to confront them. So, I introduced my boyfriend to my parents 2 years into dating him. I knew my parents were very judgmental, as I had the privilege of growing up in a rich family that values outer appearances more than inner happiness and peace. I was a bit of an oddball in our family because I always went around doing whatever made me happy instead of following a path laid by my parents. But it was all good as long as I married well and made a career path for me that screams money just by the name of it. But I wasn't as enthusiastic about my studies or didn't really have a dream to realize. I went to business school and always planned on taking up a job at my dad's real estate firm, and that's exactly what I ended up doing. But the thing is, I ended up falling in love with this guy I met at a friend's party. It was after our graduation and he came to pick her up. As my house was on the way, he dropped me off too. I actually liked him and hit on him with my friend's help. At first, I thought it wouldn't really work out, and there's no harm in just dating, but surprisingly, we fit together well, and I didn't even realize when I got so serious about our relationship. The only problem here was that he worked as a chef at a hotel, and he wasn't even the head chef. So, I knew my dad was going to judge him super hard when I introduced him, and that's exactly what happened. In front of him, my dad pretended to be happy and like he liked him. But once everything was done, he called me and told me that he expected me to do better when it came to boys. But I wasn't fazed by his comments, as I've always done whatever I wanted in life. It's not like he could do anything about who I dated. This was 3 years ago, and now I'm engaged to the very same guy. Now, we've always been very private about our lives, and not many people even knew that we were dating. When we talked about the wedding guest list, it only included our families and a few close friends. In total, the guest list didn't cross over 25 people. Everything was ready, and we even printed out the invitations, but my parents refused to come to the wedding. My dad said that he does not approve of me marrying a guy that is not in my status, let alone my dad's status as the CEO of a realtor firm. I told him it's not fair to judge someone based on what they are now. He's a chef, and maybe one day he might be the owner of a bunch of 5-star restaurants. After all, we were still 26 and have a long life ahead. But my parents, especially my dad, were firm about their decision and didn't want me to marry the guy or come to my wedding. When I told my boyfriend about it, he said that if that's their last decision, then we can't really do anything. We cannot beg them for their support, and we'll just have to be happy with the two of us in our love. It was a sad thing for me because even though I've been a rebel all my life, I really loved my parents and had a very close bond with them. I couldn't even imagine walking down the aisle without my dad. Every time I thought about it, I started crying. One night when we were just casually talking, I jokingly told my boyfriend that we should just elope so we wouldn't have to worry about my parents not being there, or my dad walking me down the aisle. It was a joke for me, but he got really serious. He said, "Why not just do it? After all, he only has a mom and a brother, while the only person coming from my family was my sister." We didn't really care what our friends thought about us eloping and canceling the wedding plan, and we could always throw a reception to celebrate the occasion with them all. So, in the end, we decided to just go with it and elope. Last week, I was all ready to go to Vegas with him. We thought if we were going to do it, we should do it in style, so we booked a suite at the Bellagio and got ready and excited. We sent messages to everyone who was invited that there wouldn't be a wedding in a week. I only told my sister that the reason the wedding was canceled was because we decided to just get married in Vegas. But on the day when we were about to fly out, I got a text from my sister, and she told me to come home because Dad was furious. And he said he's going to disown me and cut me off completely if I married that guy. She also said that he was going to take away my current job and leave me to be. I couldn't believe he would go to such lengths just to get me to break off my relationship. There have been many times when we fought over what I did, but he never took steps that were this extreme. So I told my boyfriend that I had to go and talk to him before he took away my livelihood, and then I rushed home, only to find out that my dad wasn't even there. When I asked my sister where he was, she said he's at his office. So I was about to leave home to go to his office when my sister said I shouldn't go. I asked her what she meant, and she said that what she said in the text was a lie. She said that it was the only way for her to stop me from making a mistake. She said that Dad isn't going to cut me off completely, and he's starting to come around, but Mom wasn't pleased with her son-in-law, and she was the one who asked my sister to send that text. I couldn't believe it. Not only my sister lied to me about something so big, my mom, who has never once expressed her opinion so strongly, was the one scheming. I got so mad that I went to my mother and shouted at her. I told her she has no right to decide who I love and marry, and if she's so ashamed of my choices, she should stop telling people I'm her daughter. I barely controlled myself from breaking stuff. I said so many bad things that my mother was almost reduced to tears. Now that I think about that, I feel bad about saying all those things. I feel like I should have tried to get her to change her mind politely and in a civil manner. I'm feeling very conflicted right now. Am I the a-hole here, or is my mother the a-hole? Is her concern valid or not? Does she really have a say in my life just because she gave birth to me? So, I read through the replies of everyone who commented on my post. And I know a lot of you think I'm an entitled child who hasn't matured enough to understand what's important. I just say that I was lucky my parents worked hard to give me a life that was privileged for you all. But that doesn't mean I don't have feelings or problems of my own, and people who are judging me can take their opinion elsewhere. Secondly, those of you who genuinely understand my situation and gave me advice, thanks a lot. I thought a lot about what you all said, and I also think that our matter could be solved if I could just be honest about my boundaries with my parents. I know I need to choose if my boyfriend is worth more to me than the life that I had because of my parents, and whether or not I'm willing to walk away from it for my boyfriend. The wedding was canceled, and because our plans to run away were messed up by my mother, we still haven't gotten married, and I put the wedding on hold until I could sort out my situation with my parents. So, I asked my dad if we could have a family dinner together as I had something important to tell them, and he arranged one for yesterday. I went there alone and was fully prepared to finally say my piece and get it over with once and for all. When I reached their place, my dad was really excited because this was the first time in a very long time that we were going to spend time together as a family without my boyfriend or any awkward tension in the air. If only he knew what I was about to do. Around 8, we were all sitting in the living room watching TV and just having a normal conversation when I decided to bring up the uncomfortable topic. I told my dad that I wanted to say something, and they need to really hear me this time. When both my mom and dad nodded, I continued. I told them how I've been thinking a lot about my life and my relationship, and I've come to the conclusion that for me, my boyfriend matters more than my current job or my place in this family. I told them that no one knows what's going to happen in the future, and I might just end up getting divorced, but right now, all I want is to marry that guy and swear to spend my life with him. And if Mom wants me to leave everything behind and cut all ties with this family, then that's what I'll do. So they had to make that choice. They can either support me in my decision, or they can disown me. Either way, I've made up my mind. After that, no one said anything, and the look my mother gave me was the cue for me to leave. I told them I'd call in a week to ask them if their minds have changed. I hope that they'll see how serious I am about my current relationship and not take it as a joke anymore. But I also meant it when I said I'll be okay with giving up my current job and my inheritance. I got a call from my dad today. It's not even the weekend, so I was really surprised he called me so soon. He got straight to the point and told me that he loves me more than anything, and there's no need for me to be all dramatic and give out ultimatums just to get my way. He said that if that guy is my choice, then he'd support me. He did say that Mom is still against me, but he'll try to convince her, and there's no need for me to worry about them anymore. Seriously, I can't believe he came around so quickly. It has been a very stressful month for me, and finally it was all worth it. I understand that it'll be harder for Mom after the stunt she pulled, but as long as Dad is on my side, it was enough. NTA. You do sound like an entitled child, but even you don't have to listen to your parents. You're an adult and have the full right to make your own decisions in this world. To hell with your parents' standards, just marry the man if he's the one for you. NTA. I don't think anyone here is the a-hole except your mom. What she got your sister to do was messed up, and you don't have to humor her in any way. It's your life, your choice, so don't let anyone tell you what to do. I, male, 23, have never been close to my sister, 26. I have an identical twin brother who I am very close to, and she used to feel left out when we were young. We feel she resents us for being so close, but it's not really our fault. She had triplets, 3 boys, 5 years ago through a one-night stand. She never told us who the father was, and we doubt she told him he has children. He isn't named on the birth certificate. I tried to help out as much as I can, but she kept refusing and stopped me seeing the boys. I now have a little boy who's 1. I'm a single father as his mother died not long after he was born. I was contacted by CPS telling me that she has given up her parental rights and requested me as the boy's legal guardian. I was told that there have been lots of issues, and allegations have been made against her due to the care of the boys. I have now had the boys for 6 months, and she wants to have contact with them. I have said no because when I mention their mom, they get very upset, and it takes me ages to calm them down. They get very clingy with me, so I try not to mention her. My mom, dad, brother, and sister-in-law say am I the a-hole for not giving her another chance? I have had a lot of people DM me asking questions, so I thought I would answer them here while the boys are asleep, as I don't have time to answer everybody individually. I live in LA with my immediate family, and my extended family live in Anaheim. My partner was in a car accident, not her fault, when she was 8 months pregnant with our twins. We sadly lost her and 1 baby. I'm having therapy for this, but having the boys in my life seems to help me cope. My parents, male 57, female 56, tried to get my sister to give custody to them, but CPS said they would prefer to stick with my sister's decision, as they are older. I have no idea who the triplets' father is, and to be honest, I don't think she does. He is not on the birth certificate, and she won't even tell us any possibilities, so I can't try and contact him. I probably wouldn't though, to be honest, as I'm not sure that the boys need someone else that they don't know coming into their lives at this moment. I may be wrong with that, so don't judge me. My sister is going to be prosecuted from what evidence they have of child abuse. I try not to get too involved with the cases. I need to focus on the boys. Everyone who looks after all of the boys knows that she can't have contact and to call 921-1 if she tries. Thank you for all your support. NTA. Go with what your immediate family is saying. The kids get upset at the mention of her, and she gave away parenting rights herself. Why does she want contact after going and putting her children through such a painful process? Did she want only the easy part of being a mom and expect other people to deal with the hard parts? BTW, props for accepting her children with you, especially at such a young age. I'm sure you'll be able to give them the love that every child deserves. NTA. You have to do what's best for the kids, and clearly even the force of being around her is terrifying to them. There might be some point in the future when her seeing them could be something you'd want to facilitate, for example, if they are teenagers and want to. And she has some stability in her life, but it sounds like it would be quite harmful to them at the moment. NTA. Protect those kids and do what is best for them. She does not deserve a place in their life if she is not a safe person to them. She doesn't get to traumatize them further just because she birthed them. Stand your ground. I, 29 female, have been married to my husband, 29, for 2 years. He has a 7-year-old daughter from a previous relationship, and we also have an 11-month-old daughter together. My husband and his ex aren't on good terms because she's very controlling and a bit crazy. I therefore have never had contact with her. I've never spoken to her and don't have her contact info. Everything regarding his daughter goes through email or his attorney. I'm Afro-Caribbean. My husband and his daughter are white. I often braid my 11-month-old's hair with beads on the end of her hair. My stepdaughter had been constantly asking if she could have the same hairstyles as her sister. I told her no every time, but last Thursday, she told me she wanted beads like her sister so they could be real sisters. It really touched my heart, and I didn't want her to feel left out. I braided 2 front pieces of her hair. She's beaming with joy. It made her absolutely ecstatic to finally have her sister's hairstyle. I wanted to take the braids out before she went back to her mom, but she refused and became very upset. My husband told me it was okay, and her mother will take it out. Her mother was not okay with me braiding her hair, and we received an angry email from her. In the email, she wrote that she had to cut off her hair because she couldn't take the beads out. She also threatened to call CPS on us and take full custody. I feel really guilty for braiding her hair. Her mother cut her hair, and it's my fault. I should have never braided her hair without her mom's permission. She probably doesn't know how to take out these type of hairstyles, and I should have known that. On the other hand, I couldn't force her to take them out. It of course also would have sucked if I took out the braids against her will. I feel really sorry for her and my husband. They absolutely don't deserve to go through this again. ATA, NTA. Her mother did not have to cut her hair. A simple Google search or an email to you, which she clearly is fine with, would have given her everything she needed to resolve the situation. Another option would have been to just leave the braids in. She's creating drama where there doesn't need to be any because of her bruised ego. I feel very bad for your stepdaughter that her mother can't see past her own feelings for the good of her child. NTA. She cut her child's hair because she wanted to fight with her ex-husband and her husband's new partner. Even if the braids were hard to take off, does she live like a cave person that she has no access to the internet? Could she not have called you to ask, or could she not have called her child's father to ask? This person is someone who uses her child as a tool to make her ex-husband's life miserable simply because she is no longer in his life. Let her call CPS. They will take her child away from her for cutting her hair, for trying to use her as a weapon against her father. She is bluffing. A good parent cares about their child. She is talking with her ego as a woman because she no longer has this man in her life. Don't think too much about it. Talk to your husband, and if necessary, get a good lawyer. Your stepdaughter was vocal enough to ask for braids. She can say what happened. Also, there is no doubt her mother is telling her your child is not her real sibling. Assure her that they are real sisters. Would there be a possible racist undertone to this as well? Just make sure that she is okay and really give her love. And communicate a lot with your husband about this because you never know with people that are bitter about things they cannot have. This has nothing to do with you or the child. It has more to do with her and her ex-husband. NTA. You were bonding with your stepdaughter as well as helping her bond with her 11-month sister, too. The stepdaughter chose and asked for the braid, and equally, the ex could have reached out to you through email and asked how to take it out or, Googled it, rather than going to such drastic measures. It seems like she has just kicked off for the sake of causing drama, emo.